Welcome to Calle Ocho News Conversations. I'm Rosie Roselle, joined today by Miami-Dade County Commissioner Raquel Regalado to discuss some of the key issues facing Miami-Dade County. Commissioner, thank you for joining us today.
Always a pleasure. And today we get to roll our R's.
You've been busy lately. Congratulations on all your recent successes with the mental health facility and with the Neuro Inclusion Toolkit that we're going to get into right now.
Yes, I'm a high-functioning workaholic.
We see that. And we're so happy that you're representing our county in so many ways. You do such a good job. You recently launched the Florida Neuro Inclusion Toolkit. What is it? Why is it important?
Well, the toolkit actually is my work over the last 6.5 to 10 years. And what it is it's an opportunity for all cities and all counties to do this work. It includes the work that I've done in Miami-Dade County, and it has all the legislation, all the data, and the different ways that people could do it. So everything from training police officers to reduce Baker Acts and arrests, to park social stories, to sensory activities, to sensory-friendly hours, to creating task force. It really is an ongoing reference. So there's a printed version that I've taken to several cities and counties, but it also exists online, and I update it as we keep working on these products. So for example, FIFA was just here, and as part of our FIFA events in my district, we did a county-wide neuro-inclusive FIFA clinic. And we had special needs there as coaches, and we brought our kids from different ages, and we really did an event that was for everyone. So it's one of the ways that we partner with local businesses and events to show that neuroinclusion can be just a simple ask and have a tremendous impact when families get to come out and enjoy it just like everybody else.
So it sounds like it's a way for everyone, regardless of your disability, to be able to participate in everything that everyone else participates in, correct?
Yes, and neuro-inclusion actually includes not only people and like adults and children that have neurological issues like my children. So I'm the parent of 2 autistic children. That is a neurological delay, but it also includes neurological decline. So a lot of people now, and I mentioned it in the toolkit, it also helps people that have Alzheimer's and dementia. So the population is very big. We're talking about people who have ADHD, who have Tourette's, who have dyslexia, who have epilepsy, who have autism,
which are all on that spectrum, correct?
That's all neurodiversity. So it really is very broad, and it's a very easy way to make sure that people have access to events and to government. And it's really like a how to do this work. And you can start it anywhere. I'm actually going to be at the Florida Association of Counties, and I'm doing a national version of this that's coming out soon, that I've partnered with the National Association of Counties to do.
Speaking of your children, how has being the parent of 2 neurodivergent children influenced your work in public service?
Well, although my father is an elected official, I always tell people that the fact that he's elected made me want to not be elected. Right. But I changed my mind when Isabella was diagnosed with autism. That's the reason that I ran for a position on the school board. I loved serving on the school board. While I was there, I revealed that Isabella had an autism diagnosis, and 2 weeks after that, Sebas got his diagnosis. So both of them are very different. She actually has autism and ADHD. And Sebas has autism, but he needs less resources than Isabella. And they really are the North Star of all the work that I do. I'm a policy wonk. I love doing the work that I do, but they really are the ones that push me to do more neuro-inclusion and to really look at the world differently and experience it the way that they experience it. So over the years, they've changed me more than I have changed them. And they've really made me a better human, a more compassionate human, a more patient human, and someone that will advocate for neuro-inclusion until I take my last breath. I'm blessed to have 2 amazing children, and they really are the reason I do this work.
I guess you are pretty much the epitome of alchemizing something that's not so positive into making a very big difference, not just for your own children, but for Miami-Dade County and now the USA.
Yeah. Well, I think every day we either get closer to or further away from our purpose My children really helped me define my purpose. And I look at everything through that lens. So I don't think that I stop here in Miami-Dade County. I'm doing stuff in Broward, I'm doing stuff in Tampa and Jacksonville and Orlando. And any opportunity that I get to help people do this work, it's so transformative because every life you touch really has this amazing multiplier. We've trained over 4,000 first responders in Miami-Dade County, and that's not just 4,000 firefighters and police officers that now go into every conflict experience, understanding what neurodiversity is and really trying to help everybody involved, but they're like ambassadors that go into every single situation that they're in, whether they're at the grocery store or at a movie theater, knowing what they know as advocates for neuro inclusion.
And it's just so important for people that aren't exposed to it to be aware and be more sensitive to the matter.
Yeah. We're talking about it more. I mean, I think when I first started this work, autism was a dirty word. And when I talked about it, people wanted to pray it away, do a lot of different things, make your kids less autistic. That was a thing. I think today we've really moved from acceptance, from just talking about autism and autism awareness to autism acceptance, and really trying to accommodate them and build within existing systems things that help them adapt and be successful.
The things that you've accomplished when it comes to autism are too many to discuss for our episode, but which Miami-Dade Neuro Inclusive initiative are you most proud of and why?
I love the training, because I think training is infrastructure. And I know that's a hard concept for people to understand. My first item as a county commissioner was my training initiative. And I trained police, fire, parks, transit, and libraries. Our libraries got a national award. We have 50 libraries, everyone's trained. We have social stories, we have sensory rooms, we have sensory kits. It really is phenomenal. But the training has reduced Baker acting, reduced arrests, and really given our families an opportunity to enter these public spaces. And all of those county employees that have been trained are now out in our community, really being ambassadors of neuro inclusion. So I would say I'm proudest of the training, but I love it all. And now we're able to replicate that in other areas. So this month I celebrated with the Lowe's in Miami Beach. They are our first Miami-Dade County hotel to be trained for neuro inclusion. So they trained all 400 of their employees. It was based on a conversation that I had with the general manager a year ago when I was there at an event. And he was lovely and wanted to do this work. And coming soon to the Lowe's in Coral Gables. But we're very excited about not just doing it in the public sector, but getting people to do it in the private sector, and that multiplier, and how the projects that I'm doing are helping other people in other cities and other counties do this work.
So now we have the lowdown on the Lowe's. Let me ask you a question. Let's talk about mental health and the Miami Center for Mental Health that just got approved after 20 years in the trying, 2.5 of which you were a part of. Yes. But let's educate our audience a little bit. Why is this Miami Center for Mental Health Recovery so important for our community?
So this was started by Judge Steve Leifman. And he started a very important conversation in Miami-Dade County that, not to get into too much of the history, but what happened at the national level is institutions were decommissioned, and people who were schizophrenic and bipolar were kind of let out into the street without any infrastructure. And they started cycling through the prisons. Miami-Dade actually had a lot of issues with our prison population and deaths and people who were really suffering in our prison system. And the state actually had us enter into a consent decree so that we would change how our prisons work. We recently just got out of that consent decree. But as part of that process, Judge Leifman started this initiative to create different programs. So one of the ones that he created was a 30-day program so that people who have some issues could get help in 30 days. But really, the center of the work that he was doing is the Mental Health and Recovery Center, which is 90 days, where people who are bipolar and schizophrenic are going to be able to stay and really get to the other side of this with wraparound services. When they're in the jails, they just get put in, put out, put in, put out, rearrested. And we have thousands of people who go through this cycle because they have mental illness. They can't keep them in the jails. And recently we had a case where we had someone that was arrested. He was put in the jails. In the jails, our mental health unit has 2 individuals. One beat up this individual. The charges were dropped. He shouldn't have been there, but there was nowhere for him to go. And he is now in a hospital, and he has a lot of issues. So what we want to do is provide people with an opportunity. We don't believe that as a community we should house people that have mental health issues in jails. So this is a diversion program. Instead of going to jails, they're going to go here, they're going to receive this wraparound care, and they're going to be reintegrated into the community, because what we want to do is break the cycle. The reason we called it a pilot program is because it's not speaking to the time of it, it's speaking to the nuance of it, because nowhere else is anyone doing 90 days. We know that 30 days is not enough, and we're proving we're proving this theory. is our partner, as is FIU, that has always been part of this. They're collecting the data and helping us prove this concept to provide a national model. And we always baked in accounting. Now we're just reporting that accounting to a lot of different entities because we needed to get to a place where the entire county commission felt comfortable with this item. So it took us a lot of different things. I worked on the opioid item that created the funding for this. Okay. So it's now fully funded for 3 years, and we're really excited about it. I think it's going to be so life-changing for the people who are cycling in and out of our jails, but it's also going to make Miami-Dade County safer, better, and financially it's going to help us eventually with the population in the jails.
Now, is it that they're taking the money from the opioid program and applying it to the mental health, and that's it, there's no more money for the opioid program?
No, so the opioid money is a lawsuit that I brought the item so that the county could draw down that money. So that's money that we get from a federal and state lawsuit, and we are applying that money to the mental health center.
And who's the lawsuit against?
So the lawsuit was against the companies who made the opioids, and it was a national and a statewide thing. So we were one of the communities that was impacted.
How will the new center help reduce the cycle of mental illness and incarceration?
Well, we believe that the key is to put people who are bipolar and schizophrenic at the center instead of in the jails. And that if we give them their medication for this period of time, then we can break the habits that they have gotten accustomed to in order to self-regulate. So a lot of people who have mental illnesses like are bipolar or schizophrenia, they use drugs and alcohol to self-medicate. So we want to break all of those cycles and provide them with medication, with regulation, and then also take care of their underlying issues. A lot of them have underlying health issues. So for example, a lot of this population smokes because nicotine is a dopamine trigger, right? So it makes them feel better. So you want to help them with that. A lot of them have dental issues because if you're coming in and out of jail, if you're homeless, you're not going to have the dental care that you have. A lot of them have cholesterol, high blood pressure. Some of them have comorbidities. So we're going to be providing these wraparound services and also educating them. We're going to be working on a GED program. We're going to be providing education and access to stackable credentials so they can reintegrate and really be successful.
Would you say that some of these people become bipolar and schizophrenic through the drug use initially?
Sometimes, yeah, there's pieces of that. And there's obviously triggers, and a lot of these folks have serious trauma. And that's the other thing that you have to deal with, that we're going to be dealing with at the center, because it really is started by serious trauma.
We don't have a lot more time, but I do want to get some quick little things from you before we let you go on affordability. Affordability remains a major concern for residents. What solutions are you focused on right now?
So I've worked on a lot of things. One of the things I've worked on is auxiliary dwelling, units, which is ADUs, legalizing efficiencies so that people could age at home and they could find a way to create income from their home so they could stay there. And that's been very successful. I've also been redeveloping sites around my district. So recently we broke ground on SoMe Gallery that's in South Miami. And there we're actually using Live Local, and we're stacking different funding from the state and from the county on a county property where the people who live there now are going to get to live there. But I created a series of levels, and we partnered with Lighthouse for the Blind. So we actually have units for blind residents. We have units for people that make 30 AMI, 40 AMI, 50 AMI, 65. And it really is a complete mixed reuse that even has childcare. Here around the corner from my office, I'm working on another project where I embedded a public library inside the housing unit that's going to provide community services and activities that's really going to reactivate this area of the Grove. So every project that I work with has like different things. I'm working on another one that's going to have an adult autism school in it. So I really try to take the mixed use theory like to another level and then stack the funding so that we can provide as much affordability as possible.
We're blessed to have you in this county. Now tell me, what progress is being made on transportation, water quality, and septic to sewer projects?
Oh, some of my favorite topics. So transit, I just finished an MOU with FDOT.
And MOU stands
MOU, it's a memorandum of understanding.
For us dummies.
No. It's a memorandum of understanding that I signed with FDOT. So FDOT is the Florida Department of Transportation, and this is for Tri-Rail funding. So I have been the chair, I'm the vice chair now of Tri-Rail, and this is the train that goes through the 3 counties. We had an issue with our funding, we've resolved that, but this is a very dynamic plan for funding for the next 10 years where we're gonna be able to lease property and create TODs along the entire corridor and really change how Tri-Rail works. So we're very excited about that, and we're gonna be able to reduce some of the burden on the counties for Tri-Rail. Tri-Rail has been super successful now that we have Miami Central, and now at the soccer stadium we have at every game 8,000 to 9,000 people coming to the game using Tri-Rail. So we're very excited. We added a Tri-Rail station in Little River, and we're looking at adding one at Port Miami that will connect the airport to the port.
Wow.
So that one is spectacular, and I'm really excited about that. In terms of, septic to sewer, it's an ongoing thing. We're gonna be launching in a few days a big project. It's taken over 2 years to find the pump station, but we're gonna eliminate about 250 septic tanks. And we're always working with our partners at DERM to find new and innovative ways to work on water quality. And one of the things that I've been working on is making changes to the comp plan so that we secure water covenants better, and also explaining to developers why it's important to protect the October water line. And water quality is tied to that, right? So all these things, work within our aquifer. And I've been restoring areas that are like Pine Rocklands and parks and really working on remediation. I'm bringing a big item for remediation for parks that I think will be a game changer. And I'm very excited of accelerating those things. I'll give you a perfect example, about remediation. When I got elected, Chapman Field had been closed for 12 years because it needed remediation. I got the remediation done in less than a year and completely reopened Chapman Field. So a lot of our public spaces are held back because of the need for remediation. So what I'm bringing is a pot of money where we can do this work a little bit faster and also partner with different people so that we can expedite this and open up as much green space as we have access to.
And what are TODs on the...
Transit-oriented development.
Thank you. Last question. What is Miami-Dade doing to help seniors age in place and remain independent?
Well, I'm working on a lot of initiatives. Like I mentioned, I think ADUs are a very easy one, and a lot of people like that. They have efficiencies, but I gave them a pathway to legalize it.
ADUs?
ADUs, efficiency. Efficiency.
What does the ADU stand for?
Yeah, assisted dwelling unit. Yeah,
so you need a book of acronyms.
Yeah, so ADUs can exist in 2 ways. You can actually convert like a garage into one. You can legalize one that you have, but you can also build an in-law quarter. So those are some of the tools that I've created inside the comp plan so that people can do that. But I've been working on portability. I think portability really is the path forward. A lot of us are, homestead hostages. A lot of elderly people live in very big homes, but if they move, they pay more taxes. So what I've been working with the state is on different ways to fix portability, because the statute caps a lot of things at $250,000 or $500,000, and that price point doesn't work for our seniors. The other thing that I've been working on is providing information on condos and really helping people to navigate condo issues. I worked on the loan program to allow people to comply with Surfside requirements, and we're looking at expanding that and potentially using surtax dollars so that people could buy apartments, not necessarily sink them all into single family homes.
It's exciting times in Miami-Dade County. What did you say? Commissioner Regalado, thank you for taking the time to speak to us and share your insights on these important issues affecting Miami-Dade County. And thank you to our viewers for joining us. For more local news, community updates, and interviews with the leaders shaping our future, visit calle8news.com and follow us on social media. I'm Rosie Roselle. See you next time. Thank you.
Thank you. Always fun.